went anywhere. So there we go with our little altitude. Let's keep referencing our theta to the x-axis. However, we know positive rotation comes from the positive x-axis, which sits in that direction. But let's pay attention to what we still have. Well, angles on a straight line are still equal to 180 degrees, which is where we are over there. If I can get that thick enough. However, now we are adding theta, so when we are in this third quadrant, we have 180 degrees plus theta. Let's put in our coordinates again. Well, we are still again on the left of the y-axis, which means our x values are still negative, and because we're below the x-axis, our y values are also negative. So that's going to be negative y, that's going to be negative x. And let's find out what that does for our trig ratios. So we'll still have again sine of theta, cosine of theta, and tan of theta. So sine of theta, well, still opposite over our hypotenuse, which is r, so that means we'll have negative y over r. For cosine of theta, well, that's still going to be adjacent, which is negative x over r. And then for tan of theta, well, that's still opposite over adjacent, which is negative y over negative x, which is, well, a negative divided by a negative we all know to be positive, so that simplifies to y over x. Well, let's look at the implications again. Sine and cosine are now the negative ratios, whereas the reduction of tan of 180 degrees plus theta, tan of 180 degrees plus theta is now the only positive reduction. Remember, that's our end goal, yeah? To find out how these things reduce. So as an extra way of driving this home, as opposed to what we did in our second quadrant in the previous video, we only reference sine. So let's just see what happens to cosine of 180 degrees plus theta. Because of where our reference theta angle is here and of the rotation, that ratio is now equal to a negative ratio when we look at the sides, which means that is going to be the same as negative cosine of theta. Just expanding the way we reduce, whether those reductions become positive or negative. However, just to finish off, our tan ratio is now the only positive ratio in our third quadrant, 180 degrees plus theta, there being the way we reference this quadrant.